Before the Third Plenum of the 20th Central Committee, videos circulated on the X platform showing the military surrounding the Xiangshan Military District Compound in Beijing. One video showed that on July 11th, the compound at 78 Xiangshan South Road was suddenly sealed off by armed police, with all personnel and vehicles entering and exiting being registered and checked. The compound at that location houses senior officials' families and is about 20 minutes from the Central Military Commission Joint Operations Command Center in Xishan. Xiangshan, located in the Haidian district, includes Xiangshan Park. Near the park, several villas can be seen on the mountain, housing the highest-ranking CCP leaders, hence the nickname Golden Compound. Beijing has 4 major military compounds, with Xiangshan being the highest in status. It is also where many Red Princelings grew up. Therefore, external observers believe that the military circling the Xiangshan compound might be targeting a second Red Generation member. Later, rumors on the X platform suggested that 2 of Deng Xiaoping's grandchildren were arrested, including Deng Zhiping of the Army Party Committee and Deputy Commander, and Deng Hongqing, commander of the Rocket Army. Another arrested individual was He Yuehua, Deputy Political Commissar of the Eastern Theater Command Navy and grandson of Le Hong. However, these reports have not been confirmed. On July 15th, the opening day of the Third Plenum, Xinhua News Agency published a nearly 10,000-word special article titled Reformer Xi Jinping. The article lavishly praised Xi Jinping's reform achievements over his more than 10 years in power, giving him the title of Reformer, which surpasses Deng Xiaoping's title of Chief Architect. Deputy Director of the Center for China Studies at Tamkang University in Taiwan, Hao Yaonan, explained that the former CCP leader Mao Zedong replaced revolution with continuous revolution. Deng Xiaoping replaced continuous revolution with reform, and Xi Jinping replaced reform with deepening reform. The 20th Central Committee's Third Plenum essentially declared that the economic reforms initiated at the Third Plenum of the 11th Central Committee during Deng Xiaoping's era have ended. Honorary Professor Ming-Chu Cheng of the Department of Political Science, National Taiwan University, also said that Xi Jinping has indeed made reforms over the past 10 years. He has reversed all the reforms since Deng Xiaoping. Generally, people think of reform as simplifying administration and empowering the economy, but Xi Jinping's idea of reform is to overturn his predecessor's changes. In CCP terms, this is called carrying the banner of reform while opposing reform. Professor Ming also explained that Xi Jinping believes Deng Xiaoping's reforms were wrong and that they made the party lose control over society and power, which he sees as very dangerous. Therefore, he wants to reclaim power and keep it in his hands, which he considers true reform. So, trying to understand Xi Jinping using our concept of reform doesn't make sense. However, mysteriously, the Xinhua article praising Xi Jinping was taken down from the entire Chinese internet the next day, which is unprecedented. Current affairs commentator Jiang Feng noted that the initiation and approval of Xinhua's special articles come from the central office and are carried out under the highest leader's orders. Historically, special articles express the top ruler's will. If it was suddenly removed, it means that the highest directive was abruptly interrupted. Who could interrupt such a directive? Xi Jinping wouldn't likely embarrass himself by demanding the removal of his reformer title. Moreover, Xi Jinping is still in power, and no subordinate would dare to overstep like this. The only possibility is that something irreversible happened on the day of the Third Plenum. In fact, rumors of Xi Jinping suddenly suffering a stroke and brain hemorrhage during the meeting were rampant on the X platform, although unconfirmed. Usually, the Third Plenum would dominate headlines in CCP media, but during this period, there were no live photos, no pictures of Xi's reports, and no detailed content, which is highly unusual. Jiang Feng further analyzed that this kind of sudden disruption of the Central Plenum schedule isn't new. For example, on September 28, 1986, at the closing meeting of the 12th Central Committee's 6th Plenum, a dramatic event occurred. The meeting, chaired by General Secretary Hu Yaobang, was following its scheduled procedures when Lu Dingyi, aged 80, suggested removing the phrase opposing bourgeois liberalization from the resolution and explained his reasoning. This caused a significant stir, creating 2 opposing factions. Finally, Deng Xiaoping spoke, emphasizing his strong opposition to bourgeois liberalization. This debate had far-reaching tragic consequences. 3 months later, Hu Yaobang was forced to resign, showing a real example of how a central plenum led to a change in the top leadership. Jiang Feng pointed out that the CCP system has no democratic procedures. It operates through premeditation, followed by sudden attack, and then pushing the wall when it falls. Each plenum is almost a potential coup. This is also why Xi Jinping kept delaying the Third Plenum amid extreme crises in Chinese society and the CCP's rule. He never knows when the balance of power might suddenly shift. Jian Feng mentioned that a post about Xi Jinping having a stroke spread widely on the internet in recent days without any clear background or push. While the authenticity of this post can't be verified, similar rumors have surfaced several times before. Regardless of their truth, such rumors reflect public sentiment and the harsh reality of Chinese society. This sentiment can be used by the CCP's top officials to challenge Xi Jinping. For instance, criticisms might include a lack of respect for Deng Xiaoping or lack of awareness of the common people's suffering. They will highlight the people's hardships and discontent without openly addressing the shutdown of numerous listed companies or the negative impact of wolf warrior diplomacy on political connections with the U.S. The rumor about Xi Jinping's stroke could suggest he faced intense criticism at the meeting, causing immense mental and physical stress. However, the key issue is not whether Xi Jinping's health is affected, but that something went wrong at the Third Plenum. The fact that there were no reports or even headlines about the plenum on CCTV News for 2 days after it began strongly indicates an intense power struggle at the highest level. The state media didn't receive any instructions on how to report, making it impossible to determine who is prevailing. Additionally, during the Third Plenum, the term historical garbage time became a hot topic among Chinese netizens. State media criticized this term, saying it was more dangerous than the lying flat movement. Historical garbage time is a term that refers to a time in a civilization where society is doomed to fail. Current affairs commentator Wang He stated that historical garbage time hits the CCP's critical point. The entire bureaucracy knows that the CCP is sinking, and no one wants to save it. Only Xi Jinping is holding on, but everyone else, including members of the Central Committee and the Politburo, is focusing on self-preservation and securing their future. Wang He mentioned that the Chinese economy is shaking. Some people had hopes for the CCP because it promised reform, but now it appears that the Third Plenum is deeply troubled. The claim that everything is great and the leader's call for firm self-reliance and confidence is just the CCP's instinctive reaction before its demise. The Third Plenum of the CCP quietly concluded on July 18th. That evening, CCTV News aired footage of Xi Jinping and other Politburo Standing Committee members entering the venue and delivering speeches, as well as other meeting scenes, likely to dispel rumors of Xi Jinping's stroke. However, some questioned whether the footage was shot earlier. Several strange occurrences in recent days have fueled these suspicions. On July 17th, the day before the plenum ended, a netizen uploaded a video showing that Chang'an Avenue in Beijing was under strict control. The person said it was the first time in history they saw such restrictions, prohibiting all people from walking on Chang'an Avenue and only allowing detours. Bicycles were not allowed, but electric vehicles were. The person jokingly suggested that perhaps Gaddafi, the former Libyan leader, had arrived, as they had never seen such strict controls before. Chang'an Avenue is about 6 to 7 kilometers from the Jingxi Hotel, where the Third Plenum was held, roughly a 10-minute drive. This unprecedented level of control raises suspicions that something significant happened. The video also mentioned that the 200 Jin guy might really be dead, with many netizens agreeing in the comments. The 200 Jin guy refers to Xi Jinping, who once told the media that he could carry a 200 Jin, or 100-kilogram, sack of wheat without switching shoulders, earning him the nickname 200 Jin. In April, there were multiple reports about the family of former CCP leader Jiang Zemin. Rumors suggested that Jiang Zemin's son, Jiang Mianheng, and grandson, Jiang Zhicheng, were arrested. Although these reports were marked as rumors and unconfirmed by the CCP, 80% of readers were inclined to believe them. Netizens expressed their dislike for the Jiang family's corruption and evil deeds. At that time, former CCP Navy commander Colonel Yao Cheng posted on the X platform, claiming that Jiang Zhicheng was taken into custody after attending Jiang Zemin's funeral. Recently, Jiang Mianheng allegedly joined the military's anti-Xi faction, leading to their formal arrest due to involvement in a military coup, and they are currently detained at the General Political Department Detention Center in Beijing's Chaoyang or Changping district. Although some analysts argue that Xi's party protection deal with the Jiang faction would prevent their arrest, many believe the arrests are likely for three main reasons, any one of which is enough to implicate them. Exiled Chinese legal scholar Yuan Hongbing revealed that Xi Jinping plans to address his governing obstacles and problems by completely negating Jiang Zemin's policies at the Third Plenum, holding Jiang responsible for corruption, economic decline, social crises, and proposing a new reform and opening path aligned with Mao's ideology. However, issues within his own allies, like former Defense Minister Li Shangfu and former Foreign Minister Qin Gang, disrupted his plan, forcing him to temporarily shelve the Third Plenum. This doesn't mean Jiang Zemin won't face future criticism. During his tenure, Jiang's corruption, indulgence, moral decay, and brutal policies left an enduring evil legacy, causing today's comprehensive collapse in China. Additionally, since last year, former defense ministers Li Shangfu, Wei Fenghe, and Rocket Force Commander Li Yuchao have all been taken down one after another. These individuals were not only involved in significant corruption, but also politically disloyal to Xi Jinping, secretly criticizing his political and economic policies. Jiang Mianheng was involved in these rebellious activities with the military officers. Jiang Mianheng was implicated by the fallen military officers. Multiple sources have revealed that Jiang Mianheng was involved in the military-industrial sector. Corrupt military officials and Jiang Mianheng formed a political group based on economic corruption and power for money exchanges. They would criticize Xi Jinping's governance in private, unofficial gatherings. It is reported that Jiang Mianheng got involved in the aerospace and military-industrial systems during the development of the CCP's rocket industry, meddling in several aerospace military-industrial enterprises. Sources say that the cross-service corruption cases in the military have now evolved into a major anti-party incident, with Jiang Mianheng collaborating with the remnants of Jiang Zemin's forces. Therefore, it was logical to arrest Jiang Mianheng. The third issue is the Jiang family's corruption. No one can precisely say how much astronomical wealth the Jiang family has hidden domestically and abroad. Reports suggest that their overseas assets amount to around $1 trillion, with about $50 billion already laundered. Jiang Zicheng, Jiang Mianheng's son, is the main representative handling the Jiang family's overseas assets. Jiang Zicheng studied at Harvard University and worked at Goldman Sachs in the U.S. before founding Boyu Capital in Hong Kong in 2010. If the Jiang family's dirty money could be seized, it could help cover Xi Jinping's strained expenses. If Hu Jintao could be publicly expelled from a meeting, taking down the Jiang family should be even easier. As Xi Jinping's power becomes more centralized, few of the so-called Princelings, the younger generation of the CCP's elder families, are in politics. There were even reports of a complete break between Xi Jinping and the Princelings. However, over the past year, the activities of the Princelings have been frequently exposed, revealing the turbulent internal struggles within the CCP. Several Chinese media outlets reported that Hu Zhizhi, a member of the Princelings and former vice chairman of Credit Suisse China, was appointed as vice chairman of UBS Securities on July 11th. Hu Zhizhi is the granddaughter of former CCP leader Hu Yaobang, and her father is Hu Deping, former deputy minister of the United Workfront Department. UBS Securities is the first joint venture securities company in China with a full license and foreign ownership. Currently, UBS AG holds 67% of UBS Securities, while Beijing State-Owned Assets Management Company Limited holds 33%. Previously, Credit Suisse Securities China was held 51% by Credit Suisse and 49% by Founder Securities. UBS has acquired Credit Suisse, and after the merger, UBS Securities and Credit Suisse Securities in China will be controlled by UBS Group. UBS Securities previously did not have a vice chairman position. This new position was created for Hu Zhizhi. Currently, the chairman of UBS Securities is Chen Yujun, and the general manager is Chen An. On April 18th, Xingtao Daily suddenly revealed that Deng Zhuodi, the son of Deng Xiaoping's second son, Deng Zhifang, had been appointed as a supervisor at CITIC Finance. CITIC Finance is a subsidiary of the Central Enterprise CITIC Group. Deng Zhuodi once served as deputy party secretary of Pingguo County, Baise City, Guangxi, but his whereabouts were unknown after he resigned in 2016. At that time, state media reported that 15 central inspection teams had conducted inspections in 34 economic work departments and financial units, including CITIC Group. Analysts believe that releasing the news of Deng Zhuodi's appointment at CITIC during the sensitive inspection period indicates that Xi Jinping has aimed his internal struggle at the Deng Xiaoping family. For a long time, CITIC Group has been a gathering place for the Princelings. The children of Deng Xiaoping and other families have gained huge profits from CITIC and its numerous subsidiaries. On January 18th, Caixin reported that Li Tong, daughter of former CCP Politburo Standing Committee member Li Changchun, resigned as CEO of BOCI Holdings. The reason might be related to her authority being reduced after the company's management structure was adjusted. She had worked at BOCI for 19 years. On January 16th, the CCP announced that Hu Haifeng, the son of former CCP leader Hu Jintao, was appointed as Vice Minister of Civil Affairs. Hu Haifeng previously served as secretary of the Lishui Municipal Party Committee in Zhejiang Province. There had been multiple rumors of his promotion, but they never materialized. Over the past year, the activities of the offspring of the previous 3 CCP leaders have been exposed. The top political factions within the CCP have mainly been the Princelings, with backgrounds in the second generation of revolutionaries, and the Youth League faction, originating from the Communist Youth League. The Youth League faction was completely forced out by Xi Jinping after Hu Jintao was publicly humiliated and forcibly removed from the closing ceremony of the 20th CCP National Congress in October 2022. Although Xi Jinping himself is a member of the Princelings, and they initially helped him to secure his position, the Princelings have now become his biggest threat to continued power. This group is not only wealthy and influential, but also bold. Therefore, the internal conflicts among the Princelings are the most intense part of the CCP's internal struggle. After former CCP leader Deng Xiaoping established the Reform and Opening Up policy at the Third Plenum of the 11th Central Committee in 1978, many large companies in the early days had ties to the Princelings. Deng Xiaoping's family was associated with the Kanghua Group, Wang Zhen's family with the Poly Group, Ye Jianying's family with Kaili Industry, and Liu Xiaoqi's family with the Everbright Group. The CITIC Group originally belonged to Rong Yiren, but was later taken over by Wang Jun. This shows that there are about 200 to 300 wealthy families in China whose fortunes are comparable to national wealth. Xi Jinping aims to transform the existing oligarchy into a personal dictatorship, cutting off these wealthy families' sources of income. This has led to significant anti-Xi forces in Beijing, many of which are backed by these princeling families. The Princeling families control many sectors in China, and they are also connected to large financial or holding companies. At the end of last year, there was talk in Beijing that one of the key anti-corruption targets in 2024 would be the financial sector. Targeting this sector essentially means targeting the Princelings' real interests. On May 31st, current affairs commentator Tang Jinyuan revealed on a program that internal sources indicate the struggle between Xi and the second Red Generation group is becoming increasingly fierce. Among the anti-Xi families, those represented by Liu Yuan, son of former state chairman Liu Xiaoqi, and Deng Pufang, son of Deng Xiaoping, are particularly notable. Insiders have revealed that Xi has launched an anti-corruption investigation against Liu Yuan. Although Liu Yuan was initially famous for fighting against Gu Junshan's corruption, he has also amassed considerable wealth over the years. Xi reportedly has evidence against him, and Liu Yuan has supposedly handed over 2 billion yuan to barely escape trouble. While Liu Yuan has not been publicly prosecuted and retains some freedom, he remains under strict surveillance. There have been occasional reports of CCP elites trading money for safety. Wang Jintao, a political scientist and chairman of the Democracy Party of China, who comes from the second Red Generation, said in November last year that former CCP Politburo Standing Committee member Zheng Qinghong's family had handed over part of their fortune to avoid prosecution. Wang said, "Only 2 families don't have to hand over their wealth now, Hu Jintao's and Jiang Zemin's. All other families, including Wen Jiabao's, have already done so." On December 12th last year, screenshots circulated on the X platform showing an account called A Flying Fish, claiming that the CCP leader demanded that the second Red Generation hand over at least 1/3 of their wealth to help the central government through tough times. If they don't comply, the post said, he will take action. The report also claimed that the economic crisis has forced the CCP leader to destabilize his power base. It read, "He cannot restart economic growth and can only target existing wealth. This is why social events are intensifying their internal conflicts, which could lead to significant changes." There were also internal reports that Xi Jinping must negate Deng Xiaoping and Jiang Zemin if he wants to secure a high historical status for himself. Xi Jinping believes that Deng Xiaoping's reform and opening up policy caused the Communist Party to lose control over society and power. To protect the party and the Red Second Generation's rule, he wants to revert to Mao Zedong's old path. However, this has led to intense life and death struggles with other Second Red Generation members, something he likely never anticipated. Such internal conflicts could further destabilize the CCP from within. In November this year, British psychic Hamilton Parker made predictions about China in 2024. He suggested that Xi Jinping's serious illness would be discovered, leading to party splits, a second revolution after Mao Zedong, the end of CCP rule, and the establishment of democracy in China. He also predicted the independence of regions like Tibet and Hong Kong, resulting in a federal system similar to Europe. What do you think about the possibility of this happening?